Hey, it's Lee here, and how you doing? Wanted to make a video here and give you kind of a little historical look at some of the hard ventriloquist figures that I've had over the years, some that I still use in my show today, all the way back to the very first one that I ever got. And this way I can show you the control stick that is on the head and some of the levers and everything, and give you an idea of what they do and what you might think about getting once you get your professional ventriloquist figure. Now, when I talk about hard ventriloquist figures, I'm talking about what most people associate with you if you say you're a ventriloquist. They think about the regular hard dummies, the little like boy or girl type puppets. I'll do another video at a later date with soft puppets because there are tons of expressions and things you can do with a soft puppet. And I know a lot of you will go down that road after you learn to become a ventriloquist. You'll want to use soft puppets. So I'll have another video about that a little bit later. So before we get into kind of my history here of hard ventriloquist figures, just a quick reminder. As I said in my training, I'm recommending that you do not go out and spend hundreds or thousands of dollars on a brand new, super expensive ventriloquist dummy before you're ready, because I'm telling you, you won't use it. It'll sit on your shelf. You'll struggle trying to think of an idea of how to use the puppet. So I always recommend that you get into ventriloquism a little bit first, practice it, learn how to do it, and then start thinking of ideas of the type of a character that you want to create, and then and only then start looking at professional figures, whether they be soft puppets or hard professional figures. So do not spend money, this soon getting a professional dummy until you know what you're doing. And then once you do know, the character will come and the correct puppet will, you'll find the right one. So that being said, in my video, I mentioned starting practice with just an inexpensive hand puppet from a toy store or something like that. That's still great. And I don't know if I mentioned these or not. These are called peepers. On Amazon, online, you can order these. I think they're called finger puppets. You can also get them from peepers, I think .com, or you can look up peepers on Google. And basically, these just clip onto your finger like this, and your hand becomes a puppet. So you can change the way your fingers are held to get different kind of expressions. So for this, you could kind of do a, "Hey, what are you doing?" voice. Put your hand this way. It kind of looks like an old guy. "Hey, what's going on?" So these are great for practicing. Keep a set in your pocket. You can throw a piece of yarn over the back of your hand to make a wig out of it to get a different character. So, let me see. For practicing, $1.50, maybe $1 for a set of these, or spend $1,200 on a new hard figure that I'll have no idea what to do with and will have no character, and I'll sell it on eBay in 2 weeks. So, start small, work your way up, and you can't go wrong. Okay, so enough about that. Let's get into a little fun with some hard ventriloquist figures. So I'm going to start off with the very first puppet that I ever had. I got this guy when I was 9 years old. I'm not going to tell you what year that was. It was a really long time ago. Just take my word for it. So this, and don't be scared, but I'm not showing any bodies in this video. Just going to be heads only, so you can see the control sticks and the controls, with the exception of this first dummy, which is my Jerry Mahoney. This is the very first Jerry Mahoney I got when I was 9 years old. And the reason I want to show you the body on this guy was because he didn't come this way when I got him with the head stick. So let me go down here and grab the body real quick. Drop this down in there. So this was kind of how Jerry came when he was new. There was no head stick. It was a stuffed body. The head didn't turn. There was just a little string that came out of the back of the neck, and you'd pull it and the mouth would open and close. Worked great for being 9 years old and doing little shows for my friends, but I really wanted the head to move, so there was a certain point where I decided, I need to have this guy modified a little bit. So I sent him away to a friend of mine that does puppet work, and he hollowed the body out for me, and he put the control stick on the head, and a little lever here to work the mouth with. And this is how I used Jerry for a lot of years with just a simple pull string for the mouth control. So this is kind of an entry-level type puppet you can still get today with just a head stick and a lever that works the mouth. So this is Jerry Mahoney, the first one. So let's move on in time here a little bit. And this is also a Jerry Mahoney. It's actually older than the one that I got when I was 9 years old. I purchased this one mostly for my collection, but the difference with this one was it was offered with a hollow body and a head stick. It came this way. It came in a stuffed body version, but a lot of people wanted the head stick and the hollow body so they could get the head to turn and do all that kind of stuff. So it was sold with the head stick on it. And this Jerry Mahoney was the main character for a very popular ventriloquist at the time by the name of Paul Winchell. If you don't know who Paul Winchell was, I'd really recommend you try to learn a little bit of history about ventriloquism and find out who the greats were that were before the contemporary ventriloquist you know today. Paul Winchell, that's W-I-N-C-H-E-L-L, was on TV all the time in the 50s and 60s into the early 70s. And right behind Edgar Bergen, he was probably the most famous ventriloquist ever. And this was Jerry Mahoney, his main puppet. So on this one, it has a wooden stick. It's kind of like on my other Jerry. This string is hooked to a ring. And basically, you just put your finger inside here. You can turn the head back and forth and pull the string down and make the mouth work on the puppet. So this is another Jerry Mahoney, again, even older than the one that I used as a kid to perform with. This guy's in really great shape. Love having him in my collection. So, before we go ahead in history chronologically, let's jump up to the present right now and see if you recognize who this guy is. All right, how about that? Any ideas? Well, if you know who Jeff Dunham is, wonder if that would be any of you guys. This is Little Jeff, which you're probably aware of. Jeff used the Little Jeff dummy in his show for a long time. I'm not sure on his current tour if he's using Little Jeff or not, but very popular character. He actually sold this guy for beginning ventriloquist, and it's really a good puppet. Excellent quality workmanship. The paint job on it is phenomenal. It's got sculpted hair with different colors of paint on it. Just a really great dummy. And the way this one works is it has a control for the mouth. This one is actually worked with the thumb. And you'll find as you're researching ventriloquist dummies that are professional, as you get further down the line and you want to purchase a professional dummy, there are usually two options. One is you have a thumb control for the mouth. The other is you have a forefinger control for the mouth. I like the forefinger control, which I'll show you on my other puppets in just a minute. But Little Jeff happens to have a thumb control. There's not a right or a wrong way. I just prefer the forefinger. A lot of people like having the thumb to work the puppet with. And then on this puppet, there is also a little lever here right in the front that moves back and forth, and that makes the eyes move on this dummy. So basically, you'd have your thumb here to work the mouth, your second finger down here on the eye control, so you could make him talk and make the eyes go back and forth. Now, the thing about the Little Jeff is the eyes do not automatically go back to the middle when you let go of this little eye control. You have to actually stop them in the middle. Not a big deal. A lot of ventriloquists, again, don't like self-centering eyes. They like to have full control so they can make them stop wherever they want in the motion. Again, personally, I like self-centering, but nothing wrong with having a figure that just moves back and forth, because in a very short amount of time, you can figure out exactly where the figure is looking. So this is Little Jeff. Excellent puppet. Just a little bit smaller version than a full-size professional dummy. So that brings me to the next step up, which is my original Nick Woodson. How you doing? I'm doing fine, and we're just talking about the head stick, so you don't have to say anything at all. Okay. All right. So just as a comparison, here's Nick. Here's Little Jeff. So you can see the size difference in the heads. And when you start getting into professional figures, this Nick Woodson head is more like you're going to end up getting as far as the size of the head. Doesn't mean you can't use little Jeff for a show. I mean, Jeff used this on stage in arenas that seated, 15,000 people with no problem. So you can certainly use a figure this size in your show, but you will get a little more visibility with a bigger figure. And when you're looking at professional full-size figures, this is kind of what you're going to get. So what I like about Nick here is it has the 4-finger control on it for the mouth, which I really like. There's 2 levers here, one in the back and one in the front. This works the mouth. The one in the back or in the front here, if you push it up, the eyes go one way. You pull down on it, they go the other way. If you let go of it, they go back to the middle. So no matter which way you push or pull it, the eyes always center back into the middle, which I really like. And then there's one other little lever on the back here, and that works the eyebrows, so I can raise the eyebrows up and down. So this has 3 animations: moving mouth, moving eyes, and raising eyebrows. So I used Nick for a lot of years in my show. So that's Nick Woodson. Okay, you're done. I ain't done. Yep, gonna put you down. Okie doke. All right, so I'm gonna show you my next Nick Woodson. What? I got another Nick Woodson. You got another Nick? Yep, I do. Let me show you my current Nick Woodson. Okay, you traitor. Yeah, right. Okay, thanks. So this is my current Nick Woodson. And as I've mentioned, the main reason that I have this one and had him made for me is I wanted a couple extra animations on the dummy. So this Nick has the mouth control in about the same place that works with the 4-finger. This is a little bit different because down below here, I told the guy that made him for me that I wanted the eyebrows here. So when I pull down with this finger, I can work the eyebrows. And so he can talk, the eyebrows can move, so he speaks. Right over here is a lever for the blinker. So if I pull down on this, he closes his eyes, which in the show I use so that he can either sleep or I can have him flirt with the girls, by blinking his eyes really quickly. So those are the main 3 controls on the front. I got the mouth, got the eyebrows, got the blinkers. And then on the side here, I'll try to give you a little closer shot here. There's a little ball here with some Velcro, the rough surface Velcro stuck on here, so my finger doesn't slip off. And when I move that back and forth, his eyes move. And Nick has self-centering eyes, so if I let go of the lever, they automatically return to the middle. So this is just a little more tricked out than the other Nick Woodson. Has basically the extra blinkers on it. So this is the guy I use in my show now to close my show out with. And I've had him for close to 20 years now. And so this is the other Nick Woodson. Okay, Nick? Okay. Sounds good. Sounds good. Okay, I'm going to put you away. All right. Okay, so that is my main character, Nick Woodson. Now, let's close it out here with a Super Deluxe figure. You may have seen this guy in some of my videos. This is the King. And just a few more controls on this guy than on Nick. So let me show you what's on this dude. Got the control stick. The mouth lever is kind of looking at my screen here so I can make sure that you're seeing what you need to see. The lever that's right in front, that's in the back of the 2. There's one in front, one in the back. This longer lever here, that works the mouth on the King. There's the mouth lever right there. The one in front of that is just like on my other figures with the side-to-side self-centering eyes. If I pull down on it, he looks one way. If I lift it up on it, he looks the other way. So there's the side-to-side eyes. And then this figure also has some other levers on the side here that are kind of hard to see. There are 2 levers here, and then there's another little lever right down in the middle there, which work a couple other things, which are kind of cool. This one that's here, I'm going to have to hold his neck here for just a second because with no body, he's hard to balance. So right here, if I pull these 2 side-by-side levers down, he will blink, both of his eyes close. Don't have them lined up quite right. So I can get him to blink with pulling those 2 levers down at the same time right there. And then in front of that, there is another lever that makes him wink. And this one makes this eye wink. So I can either pull them both down at the same time and get him to blink, or individually and make him wink. And then with this last lever, that works the eyebrows, so I can get him to look surprised or whatever. So this guy has about everything on it that you would get in a ventriloquist puppet. So I've got the moving mouth, the side-to-side eyes, the blinkers, the look at the thing, King. Winkers, blinkers, and then raising eyebrows. So he pretty much has everything. So this is the King, and I use him in my show now too. So this is just another one of a variety of characters that I use. So let me make a final point here. That's kind of it for the puppets. I have more hard figures, but they basically have a combination of the same types of animations that you've seen on these. So this was a good representation of what I have. But let me make a quick point here. Do you need to have all of these animations on your dummy? No, you don't. If you look up the most famous ventriloquist of all time, Edgar Bergen, Charlie McCarthy only had a moving mouth. Eyes didn't move, eyebrows, no blinkers. You know, in later films and stuff, there were some other things added. But the main Charlie McCarthy that Edgar used all the time just had a moving mouth. Same thing with Mortimer Snert. So you can get tons of emotions out of a figure with just a moving mouth, depending on the way the head moves, the way he leans into you, the way you interact with him, the way he speaks. You know, there's all kinds of things you can do to create the illusion of life, even if the puppet doesn't wink or blink or the eyes don't move. So don't think that you're not a professional ventriloquist unless you have a ventriloquist dummy that has 50 different levers on it. You don't need it. Now, that being said, do I use the animations on my puppets? Yes, I do. I like the blinkers. I like the winkers. I like the raising eyebrows. I like all that stuff. But, and this is the key, you have to be very limited as to how often you use those. I see so many ventriloquists that have puppets with, you know, a gazillion levers on them that the whole show, the puppet's just blinking, winking, eyebrows are going up and down, and doesn't look like a real person. The whole goal of being a ventriloquist is to make that character next to you seem like a live thing. So you need to be very sparing with what you do with the controls. You know, have the puppet blink the same frequency as a person would blink or wink or look one way or the other. Look at people around you and try to mimic what you see in everyday life in your puppet. And that's all you really need to do, and not go crazy using all the different features on the dummy. So anyway, enough off of my soapbox. I hope you thought that was fun. I had fun kind of getting all my guys out again and showing them to you. So I'll do a video, as I mentioned, on soft puppets a little bit later. So I hope you're practicing, get back at it. And if you have any questions about, you know, when you think you're ready to look for a professional dummy, reach out to me and I can give you a little bit of guidance on where to look and what types of things to look for. So look forward to talking to you again, and I'll keep the videos coming. And keep venting, keep practicing. We'll talk to you again soon. Thanks.